What is good, YouTube? It's your boy MrPower, and we're back with another video. As you guys can see, we're back into the regular format. Unfortunately, the other day I fucked up my foot while playing basketball, so I was pretty much bedridden all day yesterday. Still could barely walk, but I was like, I can get to my seat and get this video out. I do have the episode descriptions for episodes 1 through 4 and titles for Power Book 4 Season 3. We're 2 days away, or really a day and a night away from the premiere. I'm so excited, and shout out my guy No Label to Label. He got these descriptions to me. I got some of them on my phone too that I'm gonna read off, and let's just get right into it. You guys have been seeing these promos and trailers and sneak peeks and stuff they've been dropping. They are really ramping up the promo. I don't think I've seen like this much promo in Power Universe history. Maybe it's a little bit on par with Power Book 2 Ghost, but I feel like they've been doing a lot of promo stuff, particularly with Joe Sikora, who plays Tommy. So we're gonna be in for an interesting season. So episode 1 is called Do or Die, and it says with some of the biggest obstacles off the map, Tommy faces new opportunities and challenges in his quest to take over the Chicago drug gang. Now, this is going to be a very difficult episode for Tommy Egan, because you guys know how it is in Power, right? It usually in Power Book 4 the next episode usually picks off where the last episode ended. So we're going to pick up right where it left off with the whole Maria storyline. You know, Harold pretty much getting taken by Miguel, and him and Miguel kind of having that beef. And we saw that exclusive clip of him pulling up to Miguel's spot and pretty much pleading with Miguel, screaming, crying like a little bitch, trying to get his girl back, right? We know Tommy he's a lover, right? And he's never really had success with love in Power. So it's very important for him to find a relationship that he can sustain long term, and we understand that is very difficult to do in the drug game. So I do think that will be a big part of the season, mostly big part of this episode. I think the whole Miguel storyline is going to get kind of smoothed out, because we see him with multiple scenes with Miguel in just the first episode. So they're likely going to have a compromise and a conversation, and they're going to be cool. And honestly, like I've said before, once Miguel realizes Tommy really loves his sister and he's not just trying to mess around and play games, he's going to be like, oh, okay, so you really fuck with my sister, cool, but I'm gonna put you in her hands. You're her responsibility now, and if she gets hurt because of you, I'm gonna kill you. And I'm pretty sure that's along the lines of what Miguel is going to be relaying to Tommy in the first couple episodes. Specifically in this first episode, you see them going head to head in the thumbnail, right? So that's gonna be a big part of it. Also, he's gonna have to deal with all the bullshit that D-Mac is doing, bro. Like, you guys also seen that exclusive clip with D-Mac pulling up on Diamond, right? And D-Mac is supposed to be laying low. This dude killed a cop. He killed King Kilo's nephew. He's killed a bunch of people already, and just done a whole bunch of stupid shit that kind of reminds you of Tariq St. Patrick. But like, I feel like it's kind of wild to even compare him to Tariq, because Tariq wasn't killing people like that, bro. He really wasn't. Like, all right, his body's like, the difference is Tariq, like, there was a decent span of time before all of his bodies, right? He caught the Ray Ray body. We didn't see Tariq kill anybody again until Power Book 2 Ghosts in like the last episode. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of his kills are very much spread out. He's not a killer like that. Like D-Mac is a killer. Like that's his first instinct, is to do that. Tariq is much more strategical. I don't want to go off on a tangent about Tariq, but we will talk about him as well, because he should be popping up this season, right? So like I said, Tommy's going to have to deal with D-Mac's bullshit. He's going to have to deal with Tommy and Diamond in that relationship. Diamond and Jannard, right? We know he's having issues with Diamond because he essentially wants to run the business. He wants to run it the way he wants to run it. And Diamond's just like, yo, like, you're doing things behind my back, kind of reminiscent of how Ghost used to do the same shit to Tommy. There's so many parallels in this Power show that if you just kind of just pay attention, you start to repeat this. Ghost used to do the same thing with Tommy in the business. He used to make all of these decisions and never tell Tommy. Tommy was never aware of any decisions that Ghost was making, and he lied to him a lot. You know what I mean? Tommy didn't really know anything when you really think about it. So I think Diamond is kind of feeling a similar way, like, yo, we supposed to be partners in this shit, and I'll let you join CBI and essentially help me run it, and you kind of just doing moves behind your back. And we know that Jannard is going to be egging for Diamond to betray Tommy, right? And I think eventually I don't think Tommy is going to get betrayed by Diamond, because Diamond just seems like a really just solid dude. Like when you just analyze his character, he's a real one. He doesn't do no bullshit, play no games. Like he's very straightforward and he keeps things professional, right? So I think Jannard is going to be the main force and factor into pushing, him to kind of betray Tommy. But I think ultimately Tommy and Jannard and Diamond will have some sort of conflict that will have Tommy get kicked out of CBI and kicked out of the coalition altogether, which will leave kind of him in a place where he only got Miguel, right? So that's kind of how I view this first episode going. Now, episode 2, they don't have the descriptions here on this website, but I do have them from No Label to Label. Episode 2 is called A Seat at the Table, right? And it says Tommy's ambitions set him on a dangerous path, testing his alliances and endangering those closest to him. This isn't a new thing from Tommy. Tommy is a huge risk taker, and I think that's a lot of the time why him and Ghost kind of butted heads, because Tommy just always took risks. Tommy always did what he felt like he needed to do, and sometimes they backfired and sometimes they were successful, and that's who he is. And especially when you're living a lifestyle that Tommy lives, you can't avoid risk. You're in the game. You're in the drug game specifically. So there's going to be a lot of Tommy just kind of trying to protect D-Mac and trying to protect his family, but also taking risks and making moves in the business to take over Chicago, because he wants all of it, right? But when you're trying to take over all of a territory, you have to understand, like, there's other people who are in the game who have their own territory, and you got to get rid of all of those people in order to ultimately take over Chicago. And Tommy's obviously not a fan favorite in Chicago since he's kind of pulled up there, right? 3 seasons in, they don't really like Tommy like that. They kind of just got to respect him because he knows game and he knows ball, right? So that's kind of how I see things going in episode 2. I'm trying to tell y'all, bro, JP, I don't know what is going to happen. Maybe around the episode 4 or 5 mark, he's going to go. And that's really going to break Tommy and the rest of these characters. So it's going to be interesting, right? Episode 3 is called There's Always a Price to Pay, right? There's always a price to pay. Essentially, someone's going to get hurt, right? There's always a price to pay, and that's the theme for every drug show. There's always a price to pay for every single drug show that you're involved in, right? Because the drug game is a very dangerous game, and especially when there's family involved, anything could go wrong, anything could happen. And I think especially with the fact that Tommy has his family in Chicago, and they're involved in the drug game as well, it's going to cause a lot of problems. So we're going to have to see about that, right? And then next up, we see episode 4 is called Time to See the King. Now, immediately my thoughts are this must mean they're talking about King Kilo, right? We know there's this whole King Kilo storyline with Diamond, Jannard, and D-Mac, right? Where essentially King Kilo wants revenge for his nephew being killed by D-Mac, and Jannard essentially propositioned to pretty much offer up D-Mac in exchange for them keeping the peace, because they've been beefing with them for such a long time with CBI, right? Tommy doesn't know about this, and even Diamond was kind of iffy, like, bro, I don't think we should be doing that. Like, that's Tommy's nephew, and that creates a conflict within the business. And to be honest, I honestly think that this whole King Kilo storyline will get blown over, at least eventually. But I think early on, I think the King Kilo situation is ultimately going to cause the beef between Diamond and Jannard and Tommy, right? Because once Tommy finds out that they offered up his nephew to King Kilo, regardless of what he did, because that's his family, that's his blood, that's going to cause issues, and I think that could lead to him getting kicked out of CBI and the coalition. So that's how I kind of view things going in this first arc of season 3, right? Because Tommy's going to get ran out of Chicago. And even if you guys seen my last video, kind of the intro, they said this is going to be a classic Tommy Egan bloodbath. A lot of people are going to go. And Tommy's not going to be one of them. He's already confirmed for the spinoff Power Legacy with Tariq St. Patrick, right? So it's going to be a very interesting season. It's going to be very interesting to see how alliances change, right? You're going to see certain people working with certain people for a couple episodes, and then those certain people betraying those people that they was working with. Nothing is ever going to be consistent in this Power universe, right? No matter what it is, whether they're family, no matter how close they are, no matter how good the relationship is, anybody can turn on anybody. This is Power. This is the drug game. Anything can happen, and I'm so excited, guys. I'm thinking of doing a stream in my Discord, and also doing one on TikTok. I'm thinking of just doing like a cross stream on all my social media platforms of me viewing season 3 episode 1's premiere. So if you guys don't follow me on all the social media platforms, if you don't follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, make sure you guys follow me on those platforms at MrPower Universe on all platforms. Make sure you guys join my Discord, which is free to join. Link is on my website and in my bio of any of my social media platforms. You can find it there. And yeah, tap in, because I'm gonna do a stream, and I'm thinking of doing a recap like right after the episode. So around 1 a.m. I'll hop on here, shoot a quick 10-15 minute reaction video, just a reaction video of my thoughts to the episode, and then probably later that night I'll drop another video with like my episode breakdown of the characters and what to expect in episode 2 as well. So, and I'm probably gonna have some podcasts with some of my fellow creators. It's just be Power is Fire, Kimi, the whole gang. So just stay tuned for that. It's gonna be a great season, and like you guys know, I've been saying all week, I will be at an early screening for episode 2, November 10th in Manhattan, New York. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna be out and about New York, just having fun, trying to enjoy my time out there, eating some good food, and getting ready for that screening. And there's going to be a panel interview with obviously Tommy, Diamond, and Jannard. So stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.